that's pretty good. In fact, that's just the right spirit. Our songwriters, Dick and Bob Sherman of the Walt Disney Studio.
Officer of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wasn't that beautiful? So totally appropriate, too. It's a Small World has been such an important part of Disney's legacy for many years, dating all the way back to 1964, when Walt premiered a version of the attraction and that iconic song by Richard and Robert Sherman at the New York World's Fair. Now, I'll date myself a bit here. I was actually at that World's Fair as a kid in 1964. And yes, I was 13. I guess you could go to Wikipedia and find out how old I am, right? But ever since then, The Small World has held a special place in my heart. I think it's hard to overstate the impact of the Sherman brothers, not just on Disney, but on the entire world. From Mary Poppins to The Jungle Book to It's a Small World, they composed so many beloved Disney classics and have captured the hearts of generations of people around the world. Now today, we're especially honored to be joined by two of Richard's children, Greg and Vicky, and four of his grandkids. So how about a special applause for them? Now, I know there are a lot of Disney experts here and Sherman Brothers experts and Small World experts, but if you thought something seemed different about the version of that song that you just heard at the end of the video, you were not just imagining things. A little over a year ago, summer of 2023, Richard came to my office for a meeting, and he wanted to discuss a special surprise that he brought with him, that he wanted to give to me. And let me just say that there are moments in this job of mine at Disney that I'll remember for the rest of my life, but the one with Richard that day ranks pretty close to the top of memories of mine. And Richard came to tell me that he had written a new verse to It's a Small World, and I still get the chills thinking about those lines that he shared with me. So before we start the show, I want to leave you with that special moment that I shared with Richard last year. He'd be so happy to know that even as he approached the end of his life, he was still creating magic that brings joy to all of you, the biggest Disney fans in the world. So take a look.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share, and it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. There is just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. Though the mountains divide and the oceans are wide, it's a small world after all. Mother Earth unites us in heart and mind, and the love we give makes us humankind. Through our vast, wondrous land, where we stand hand in hand, it's a small world after all.
Fantastic. You are
It's a special place. It's like a religion. I'm also so honored to be part of this organization. I really have. My brother Bob and I, when we first started here in 1960, we said, we're the luckiest guys in the world. They want us to write songs for them. Wow, I couldn't get over it, I still feel that same thing. It's a big honor because Dopey and Mickey and all those other guys, they're my family.
quite a history.
Sherman. To explain, please welcome Broadway's original Mary Poppins, Ashley Brown. Back on Broadway, Michael James Scott. And the Level B23 Singers.
He's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm a little on the line. I'm a little on the line.
Because he was afraid to speak when I was just a lad. Before they gave me those and tweaked and told me I was bad. But then one day I heard a word to say we ain't goes.
Nothing is what you've never had, and this is how it goes. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He traveled all around the world and everywhere he went. He used his word and all would say, there goes that clever gent.
When Dukes of Mahara just pass the time of me, I say this special word and then they ask me out to tea.
Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Well, of course you can say it backwards, which is so pretty high. It makes it silly, garfilly, creepless, but that's taking it a bit too far, don't
Indubitably.
So, when the cat is gone to talk, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up this word and you've got a lot to say. Be sure to use it carefully, or it may take your life. Yes?
Nice, me girls, me wife. She's
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Don't you know the actually is the practically rule? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
And now, please welcome our host, John Stamos.
That's monkey's uncle. Big boys did that. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. God bless you all the Disney fans. Where's my Disney adults? Where are you? Stand tall. And let's hear it for Ashley Brown one more time, and Mike Scott, Dave Scott, and the Melody 22 Singers. Welcome to this musical celebration of Richard Sherman. And you guys all have a front row seat. This is a very special day. You know, 6 years ago, I hosted the Sherman Brothers Hollywood Songbook for the Motion Picture Academy. And it was truly one of the greatest moments of my life. Standing next to Richard, we're going to show that, was, there he is, look at that. That's so beautiful. I was just overwhelmed and with this deep sense of awe, this deep sense of gratitude. I could feel that I was in the presence of a living legend and an international treasure. A man whose songs remind us that the importance of resilience, human connection, and the endearing beauty of this small world. Richard's legacy of 1,000 great songs they're not just nostalgic, they are lifelines. They offer us enchantment and optimism that are crucial to our well-being. It's almost as if that he knew when he was writing those songs that we need them more now than we did back then. They're sort of like time-release tunes. And they guide us. They guide us in this world as it continues to grow. Our lives may feel a little less melodic without Richard's vibrant presence, but we know that his music will always be there for us to lift us up. It's sort of like a musical comfort food. But with this incredible legacy comes a responsibility, a chance for us to help preserve and pass on this beautiful gift. So I'm going to make a promise, and I hope you all join me. Let's make sure these unforgettable songs live on and on. Let's share them with the future generations so the spirit of the Sherman Brothers music continues to inspire, entertain, and just be with us forever. The way to do that is by keeping their melodies alive, by celebrating the music they've given us, which will ensure that our lives and their influence will endure until the end of time. To help share our celebration of Richard M. Sherman, here are a few of his most treasured collaborators. Please welcome acclaimed film producer and Disney legend Don Hahn. Once again, Broadway's original Mary Poppins, Ashley Brown. Renowned animator and Disney legend himself, Floyd Norman. Famous actor, digital Disney legend, Tony Baxter. And president of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige. Please enjoy.
Thank you, sir, and thank all of you. Please take your seats on the panel, and we are glad to be here sharing our stories and just memories about this dear guy. I ran into him first many years ago, but we did a special for PBS with Richard many years ago. And I called Ashley up and I said, we have to preserve this songbook. And the best thing about it is Richard's sitting at the piano and playing his own songs. And we did. We got Richard on a stage all day long, and he played through his songs. And Ashley, you sang with him. And that day was so profound and inspiring to me. And I learned a secret about Richard, and that's his wife, Elizabeth. Elizabeth's not here tonight with us, but she's going to see this, and I just want to send some love out to her, because if there's a Jiminy Cricket in his life, it's Elizabeth. So we love you, Elizabeth. So that day when we recorded that special, you sang a song, which I so appreciated, and it's a song that Richard wrote for the 60th anniversary of Disneyland. And it's a song that is just so touching and like this beautiful pop ballad. And I know it's in the middle of the day right now, but the song's called A Kiss Goodnight. And I thought if we're lucky, we do happen to have a piano, I've been told.
Oh,
And,
I didn't even see it there.
Yeah, no, it's here. And he does have the music. And would you be willing to share that with us right now?
I would love to share this
Ashley
song.
Brown with A Kiss Goodnight.
To the land of imagination, there's a wondrous magical door. No one knows where the door is hidden, yet we've all been there before. For within every heart lies a secret that reveals a mystery. And the secret is this: just a gentle kiss is the key. A kiss goodnight is the doorway to dreamland. A kiss goodnight is where memories begin. Just close your eyes and you'll see where your fantasies dwell. To your surprise, what a fabulous tale they tell. A kiss goodnight is the start of a journey so deep in your heart, where your memories shine. Oh, the joy and the wonder you feel on your magical flight begins with a kiss goodnight. A kiss goodnight is the doorway to dreamland. A kiss goodnight
think we all need a few minutes.
I know, I definitely, you saw me, I was starting to go, and I'm like, nobody came here to see that. So I tried to keep it together, but he was so special, and I feel so, like all of us here, I feel so honored to know him, to have worked with him, to watch him sit down and play the piano, because it doesn't matter if it was the first time he played the song or the 1,000,000th time he played the song, the joy and the love of music and what he was creating just poured out of him, and it just made everybody want to try and be as good as he is. But you know, he always made everybody feel like the most talented person in the room, even though we all knew he was the most talented person in the room.
Yeah.
And that's such a gift, especially when I was creating the role of Mary Poppins, and as we all know, very big shoes to fill. And he gave me the honor of, you know, being able to create my Mary Poppins, and he gave me such freedom in that, and it's a gift that I will always be able to take with me, and I'm very thankful for that.
Beautifully said. I think the one thing that unites us all here, and many of you, is central to Disney, and that's storytelling. And to hear you sing, you are a storyteller that happens to sing. And that's what Richard was. He was a musician. He was a storyteller first, though. And I think that's what we all are trying to attain, is that level. It's what unites us as a company, as a culture, and to hear you perform that is just so beautiful. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that so much.
Tony, Disney legend Tony Baxter.
Just casually.
Yeah. So you virtually grew up at Disneyland, and you got an early appreciation, maybe before any of us, of what music can contribute to an experience. And I think you have an understanding of that, maybe that none of us really do, to the point of trying to record things in the park when you were a kid and whatever. What was that to you? What was that experience of kind of having Richard's work revealed to you, and as you kind of grew into all the work that you've done for this place?
Like all of you, it's revealed to me as the biggest fan in my neighborhood, and with my trusty tape transport. That's for you, Richard. I would make treks to Disneyland where it was illegal to tape anything.
Yes.
And so you had to put them in a Disneyland bag,
Yes.
and then go over to the monorail station and get back into the park like you bought something earlier in the day, and then get back in. So the tiki room was the grand prize, knowing that.
Oh, so no one had recorded it or released it or anything?
Yeah, and the fact that Ashley's on the stage here, you get a kick out of this. You missed my favorite lyrics from Supercalifragilistic, and that was, would Jimmy Johnson meet his mother in the refreshment stand? Because I recorded the movie in the drive-in, and of course they would interrupt the most poignant moments of, oh, this is important about that.
Yeah.
So, but if you had ever told me that I was going to go from that level of loving these people and their music to where they were friends, one of my favorite memories was Richard coming up for his 85th birthday with Elizabeth to the cabin, and they didn't know what they were getting into, and they spent the whole weekend there, and it was just an incredible thing. Elizabeth, I loved her dearly, and she was such a fan for my neighborhood hibachi steakhouse. And
it is good, lady.
Every year,
Very good.
he would demand that Richard bring her down to get the free chicken dinner that came.
Yes,
It
yes.
was your birthday month.
That'll be on our website later.
Now, this is the kind of people that they were. They just were real people, and who just happened to be able to create incredible and fantastic things. So for me to move from that kind of a relationship to where, taping the things and whatnot to the other.
Right.
When we started on Epcot, which was going to be a major transformation, the call went out and said, anybody that you know that has done extraordinary work in your whole life, bring them in. We need them. We're going to need them. This is going to transform the world. And the first thing I went to, I still have that tape recording today, but just for old time's sake. But they changed my life from the moment they came on the scene.
Yeah.
And so I called them up, and they were thrilled, and they came in, and they created 3 very distinctly messages, as you say, storytelling that took you to a different place.
Right.
One was a Figment's world, and one little spark, and then taking us into the world of children and how they imagine things, which was Magic Journeys.
Yeah.
And then Kodak, who was our sponsor, was sitting there going, well, what about us? And they said, we'll do a third song if you'll create it for us. So they wrote Making Memories, which was the story of how cinematography has developed through time.
Great.
And it became such a great film piece that Disney came back to Kodak and said, can we license your piece of music to put it on the Epcot album because everybody loved it. So that was the way they worked. They could create everything from something that was catchy and lives with us for a lifetime to things, as we know, that were poetically beautiful. And so I think for me, having that sort of experience is an incredible thing that I just can't ever imagine anybody feeling that same kind of.
Yeah, it's so extraordinary.
Yeah.
Did you bring any treats along for us today? Yeah.
A treat? I don't know if I did or not.
It just says on the teleprompter that you did.
I did. I did.
We all love a treat.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
We're hoping it's
So, I think a lot of you do know this music and these amazing experiences because the music, like when Walt brought them in, I later realized to write the Tiki Room, it was to describe what a Tiki Room was. And just an aside on that, I asked Richard one day, what makes a great song? How do you get to that point? Because he'd written 3 for us that worked. And he said, when we're in sync with the reason why that song has been created or what it's filling, it almost helps write itself. Because we know all the things it has to fulfill and do, and we go out of that first meeting into a euphoric state when we get together. And I think what you're going to hear right now are some of the ones that absolutely take us all there, both emotionally and musically.
Oh, let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Wait! We forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
In the tiki room, in the tiki room, all the birds sing words and the flowers bloom. In the tiki room. Miracles from molecules around us everywhere. There are miracles from molecules in the earth, the sea, the air. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. When it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. Magic journeys, mystic eyes, on the wings of unexpected sounds and sights. Imagine of inspiration is at the heart of creation, a dream right at the start of everything that's real. With just a little spark, brings up for you. And when we're making memories, happy things can reappear. Look at the birdie.
Wow. That's amazing. I think all that work is so, it takes us all back in time, but it was so groundbreaking what Walt was doing with them to put that kind of into experiences that the audience could have. Nobody else was doing that.
And you take them home. It's the one souvenir you bring home with you.
We certainly will be taking It's a Small World home tonight. And thankfully so, because they are timeless. They're timeless. Kevin, I remember when you started working with Richard, I talked to him one day and he was so thrilled that you guys called him, and he was like beside himself because the body of work that you guys have done is stunning, but to be involved with it, it just made his day. What was that like?
Well, that was That was before Disney bought Marvel.
Yeah.
That was, our body of work essentially consisted of Iron Man 1 at that point.
Yeah.
And
That's something.
Yes. And we were, Jon Favreau and I reached out to him to do a song for the Stark Expo in Iron Man 2. And John grew up across from Flushing Meadows, the World's Fair grounds. And I was always, through Epcot primarily, obsessed with the history of the World's Fair. So it became the final action set piece for it. But we wanted it to be this authentic, real thing. And I said, we need a World's Fair 64 song. And I think it was Dave Jordan suggested, well, would you like to meet with Richard Sherman? And I thought, would he do that? Is that allowed? Would he be nice enough? And the answer is yes, of course. And we took him through sort of what the Stark Expo was about and promising a better tomorrow, exactly like the World's Fair did. And he wrote a wonderful song for us that I kept stressing was not a parody. We did not want a parody song. We wanted a real song that would fit in as if he had written it in the 64-65 World's Fair. And he delivered an amazing song called Make Way for Tomorrow Today for us.
It's so smart, and I think we brought that along with us today for you to show. Let's take a look.
This is the first play.
Now, picture this. This is the opening. This is the way there are many ways of playing this thing, but I'm going to play it the first way. The way I visualize it would be opening Iron Man 2, where you have a montage, a visual, excitement, a choir. Visualize my voice is a beautiful sounding choir that's singing great harmony. Okay? With that, we go on. Oh, bright morning is dawning, make way for tomorrow today. Yes, and new tomorrow's a morning to light up a great new day. Oh, the future's brimming with promise, and that promise is heading our way. So keep your eyes on that shining horizon. Make way for
It's amazing. I think it can be, I think it's everything you said it could be.
I think it all has to have excitement, sincerity, and also genuine feel that it's positive. There's nothing sardonic about
I
it.
don't know if this has been in you, because you haven't gotten to do this type of thing for a while, but it's so fully formed and realized and authentic. And,
It's very innocent.
It's authentic enough that we can play it and actually maybe pull on the heartstrings of the audience.
I want to. The thing is, there was a time, you guys are too young to know this, but that people really do believe in happy endings. And they believed that tomorrow was going to be better and everything was wonderful. They weren't cynical. A lot of cynicism in the world today. And I say you have to believe tomorrow's going to be wonderful. That's the whole thing. It's a very positive bit. Would you like to hear it one more time? Sure. Maybe I'll play it without mistakes this time.
Everything is achievable through technology, better living, robust health, and for the first time in human history, the possibility of world peace.
That's correct. It's a great idea.
I just thought it was so nice of him to do this for us because we were a bunch of just young goof. Have you ever seen a goofier person just grinning up at something behind the piano?
We all were.
That was us.
Yeah, but it must have felt like you won the lottery because it's, and what's really smart about what you guys did is it is sincere and authentic, you know, and it comes across. Even to hear Richard say, we can really move the audience with this to some optimism is so inspiring. And of course, he's apologizing the whole way.
It was a very special time, and then very soon after that, Disney bought us, and another dream came true, and here we are today.
Yeah. Lucky us. It's great. Disney legend Floyd Norman. That's you, yeah. So you collaborated with Richard on a book called Kiss Goodnight, based on a beautiful song that Ashley did, and Adrian, your wife, did some beautiful color styling on it. So you got to work. Thank you, Adrian. So working closely with Richard is great, but your history with Richard perhaps goes back further than any of us. You're still a young man, and you just recently celebrated, if I may say, your 89th birthday, so happy birthday. Walt pulled you up into the story rooms. You had been at the studio training and things. You were on the lot when Mary Poppins was made. You were pulled up into the story rooms to help contribute to story on Jungle Book. We are your humble audience. What was that like?
Imagine having Richard Sherman write a song for you. Well, not really for me, it was really for Walt Disney. But I had just storyboarded a sequence in the Jungle Book. This was summer of 1966.
Yeah.
Walt was sort of satisfied with it, but he said, we need a song. And I said, we don't have a song, and Walt said, don't worry, I'll have the Sherman Brothers write a song for you. Would you believe that before the week was out, we had a song?
Really?
Before the week was out, we had the song Trust in Me, written by Robert and Richard Sherman.
So cool.
And I want to tell you that working with Richard and Robert Sherman, it was a sheer joy. It wasn't a job, it wasn't work, it was just pure pleasure. And I feel that I'm such a lucky guy to have been at the Disney studio at that incredible time, to be able to work with Walt, to be able to work with Richard, and to be able to, and then eventually share this with the world. So I feel like I'm a very lucky kid to have had this incredible opportunity. You know, I work in animation, and there are a lot of fun guys who work in the animation department, but there's nobody more fun than Richard Sherman. I've never met a man who was more optimistic, more positive. Richard was just sheer happiness and joy, and he made you feel happy.
Yeah.
So after a session with Richard, you came out of that just feeling really good, because he made you smile, he made you laugh, and eventually he made the world smile, and he made the world laugh. So that's Richard Sherman.
Yeah, it's an incredible legacy, not only for Richard, but for you too. So to have you share those thoughts is really amazing. I think we all kind of aspire to be like you, which is a clunky segue into actually a song from Jungle Book. And I think we can all celebrate. And I just thank you to all of you guys and girls for sharing your thoughts about this really special man. Let's get back on the stage. The amazing John Stamos, here he comes.
Wow, that was so cool seeing that stuff. Thank you for showing us. This is so beautiful today. I love what Richard said, being a Disney fan is like a religion. And I'll be the altar boy because I'm part of that religion. Okay, anyone out there in the front row, you might have, if you look on your seat, see if you have a banana that makes noise. Bob? Is he smiling? Grab it. It's like Oprah. You get a banana. Okay, good. We're going to do a little rhythm here. We're going to play a song. What I love also so much about the Sherman Brothers music is there's always sort of a deeper meaning underneath the surface. I love how this next song explores aspirations and belongings. And while we may admire qualities in others, it's important to treasure our own unique attributes. Can you guess what song it is? Hint? Oh well. There you go, Jungle Book. Now let's get those shakers going. We'll get a little rhythm going. Maybe we'll get this next guy out to sing the song. So give it. All right. So you guys gonna sing? And I have the perfect person to sing it because there are texts about 15 times a day saying I want to be just like you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my good buddy, singer-songwriter, Gary Chris. All right, you know the song. And I'm the king of the swing and go, jungle VIP. I reached the top and I had to stop, and the rest was my need. I want to be your man, cause so right in the town. And be just like the other band outside, mugging around. I want to be there. I want to walk like you, talk like you. You see, so
little Cat Calloway, a little Louis Prima. We're gonna sing something like this. We sing, ayo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo, woo, ah. Scooby-Dooby, I wanna be like you. I said I wanna be like home. Yo, let's go now. Don't try to kid me, man, cause I made a deal with you. What I desire is man that fire to make my dreams come true. Now give me that secret, man, come on. Give me a clue. Give me the power of man's flower. So I can be like you, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You say it's true, you do like me. Can't learn to be someone like you. Can't learn to be someone just like you. One more time, can't learn to be someone like you. I wanna be like you. Sing hit me like you. I say thank you, Darren. Just monkeying around. Thank you all very much. Kevin, Tony, all right. That's pretty fun. Here to share a little Sherman Brothers movie magic, please welcome renowned film historian Darren. I'm trying to do a show out here. An author, historian, and also an author, Leonard Moulton, and his sidekick daughter from the popular film podcast, Jessie Moulton.
Someone didn't listen to directions. They want us to sit at the end.
They want us to sit at the
Off
end.
you go, come on. You gotta watch them like a hawk,
This
guys.
is why you have kids.
Thank you so much, John. And hi, everybody. I've been saying that we are the second stage of grief, denial. Richard is not gone. He could never be gone because he is, and well, I can't even say was, I'll just start crying. One of the most incredible people you would ever meet in your life. Ever.
And Jessie has known him her entire life. Because what started as just an interview assignment when I was working for Entertainment Tonight became something more, and we became very close. He became like a member of our family. But I knew it was going to be special when I went up the walkway of their Beverly Hills home, Elizabeth and Richard's home, and rang the doorbell, and I heard bang, 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 which was rigged for him by his lifelong friend Milt Larson, who is the proprietor and founder of the Magic Castle.
We also have to say we are representative of all of the Moultons today. My mom is here. She was also very, very close. Queen Alice, if you follow anything you do, we know we call her Queen Alice. God, it was so special. It was just so special.
Well, we had great experiences because we traveled with them, we dined with them, and we didn't just have formal interview type conversations. And if there was a piano in the room, Richard was going to play it. It was going to happen.
It never gets old.
So one day we were talking about Mary Poppins, as we often did, and he said, well, you know, Bob and I wrote a number of songs that got cut that were intended to be in the film. I said, like what? He said, well, we had a song for Admiral Boom. Jessie said, how did it go? He raced to the piano
Let me show you.
and proceeded to sing and play Admiral Boom for us. How lucky can you get?
I'm sorry, I have to stop myself from crying. I really, really am.
Now, statistically,
Yeah.
he and his brother won 9 Oscar nominations. And they won 2 Academy Awards the same night for the score and the song from Mary Poppins. But statistics don't really tell a story about the staying power of their work. They represented so many aspects, so many facets of Disney, and they were in such synchronization with Walt in terms of that upbeat outlook, that optimism that Disney exuded. And yet they could write in any style.
They could. I hear you, kid. It's, one of the things, you'll just keep hearing us say Richard was magic because he was magic. And I have to thank, because our friends are here too, Howard Green, who you will hear a little bit about later. That damn straight, let me tell you, if you know Howard, you know that he's an angel. You're an angel, Howard. When I found out that I was pregnant, the very first thing I wanted to do was tell Richard, because it's something that we always talked about and joked about. And he and I would sing Stay Awake together, because I said, did you write that so that all moms could sing it to their kid? And he said, pretty much. And we would just, we'd sing it to each other all the time. When you're sitting with Richard and he goes, stay awake, don't rest your head. And you just think, oh, that's okay, I will love you forever. And it does tend to get kids to calm down, just a hint. It does help. I'm waking one of my 2.5-year-olds screaming back there somewhere. But when I was pregnant, we told Richard, we had lunch together. Howard made sure we had lunch, and I told him, and we hugged and we cried. And then when my baby was born, my daughter Daisy was born, and there too, we knew she's not going to remember this, but we had several occasions where they got to meet and snuggle, and he sang to her, and I have pictures of her and Greg Sherman.
Now with the magic of home video and iPhones and such, we have video proof that they met. And
I'll also say, I got a tattoo for Richard about 10 years ago here. And he said, aren't you supposed to do that when someone's dead? I said, I wanted you to be able to see it. I figured why, and he would kiss it whenever we were together. Yeah.
Think about all the people that they worked with also.
Oh,
they
it's
wrote
wild.
for, from the Beach Boys to John Williams, Maurice Chevalier to Louis Armstrong, Julie Andrews, Angela Lansbury, Kenny Loggins, the great Louis Prima, and Irwin Kostal. It's an incredible lineup.
And speaking of collaborators, here's an actor who quite literally stepped into Richard's shoes. The wonderful Jason Schwartzman got to spend time. Did he not? I thought he did such a fantastic job as Richard. And part of it in the movie is that he captures Richard's joy. And when Richard would play the piano, he had this little bounce, and you'll see Jason could do that too. And such a performance.
Hi everyone. I wish I could be there with you in person, but I'm with you in a shared love and appreciation of one of my heroes, Richard Sherman. Once upon a time, I had the honor of playing Richard in a movie called Saving Mr. Banks. In fact, this is one of the outfits that I wore in the film. It's very red and very tight. It was an unforgettable moment in my career, and it introduced me to an incredible songwriter who would soon become a dear friend. It's an experience I will always treasure. Now, as we told the backstory of how Mary Poppins flew from the pages of P.L. Travers' books into the hearts of moviegoers, we were blessed to have Richard by our side. He was there every day on set. In fact, when I would do the scene sitting at the piano singing, he was across the room, literally, pumping his fist, conducting me, encouraging me. And I remember one day, I had a question about a certain chord voicing, and I asked him if he could show me how he did it, and he came over, he said, can I sit down for a second? And about an hour later, he was still there, only this time the entire room was singing along with him, all of the songs from Mary Poppins. Gigantic men, grips with cargo shorts and tattoos of snakes and things on their legs, weeping, crying, tears of joy. Everyone on our set, hugging. And it was one of the most amazing days of my life to see that everyone really does want to sing along. and the power of music and the way it does unite us. Getting to know Richard Sherman, it started to become clear what was at the heart of all that wonderful music he and his brother Robert composed. Joy. If you listen to the music and the lyrics of the Sherman Brothers, there really is genius at work. Their songs are filled with innocence and fun, nostalgia and love, yet it's all wrapped up in a cleverness and a unique sophistication, a complex composition. If I'm ever in a room with a piano in the corner and I think to myself, Richard would be at that piano right now playing, lighting up the room, bringing us all together. That's what's so special about D23, uniting us as fans and celebrating our love of Richard. So as we celebrate the musical legacy of Richard and Robert, let's take a fond look back at some of our favorite Sherman Brothers songs from the Disney films, both live action and animated. I think you'll agree these two Disney legends composed the soundtrack of our lives.
Curiosity, lucky chances, fortuitous little happy happenstances. I keep smiling, 'cause my philosophy is do your best and leave the rest to fortuosity. Tubby little tubby all stuffed with luckies. Silly old man. It's slowly bobbing along on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. What a chance to get a better peep at the plants and creatures of the deep. Love all his monkey shines, every day is Valentine's. I love the monkey's uncle and the monkey's uncle's ate for me. Ate for me. Chim-chim-a-dee, chim-chim-a-dee, chim-chim-chim-chim. A sweet bitch as what you jumped me. Chim-chim-a-dee, chim-chim-a-dee, chim-chim-chim-chim. Put it up to a walk when I shake hands with you. Come on, let's grow, gotta grow, gotta grow to the ugly ball, to the ball, to the ball, and the happy time we'll have there. One and all at the ugly ball.
Which pet's address is the finest in Paris? Which pets possess the longest pedigree? Which pets get to sleep on velvet mats? Naturellement, the aristocrats.
Why cry about that? Enjoy it.
No, enjoy.
Oh, each moment is a treasure. Enjoy.
That's better, enjoy.
We're travelers on life's highway. Enjoy the trip. Each lovely twist and byway. Each bold magic.
Good.
I reach into the sky and touch the stars.
Great memories.
I have to tell you, I had a very small wedding at our house, and just a couple of friends, Richard and his amazing wife Elizabeth, were there. And as he walks in, he says to me, "Would it be okay if I played a few songs?" And I, of course, said no. Why would I want that? And then he did. And let me tell you, if you're trying to figure out a way to get in with your in-laws, that's the one. That's the way forward. Good grief. How? They were just incredible.
Yeah.
How did they do that? How did they do this? It knocks me out.
And Walt Disney was always looking for new talent. Both sides of the camera. That's how he found the Sherman Brothers. In addition to our next two very special guests. They made their American big screen debuts for Walt Disney. One of them had already made a film with their father in England. One of them had been introduced to all of us by none other than Rodgers and Hammerstein. They went on to great careers. They're still enjoying great careers and great lives. But they started with the Sherman Brothers and Walt Disney. please welcome to the stage Haley Mills and Lesley Ann Warren.
My biggest frustration with Haley is that she just keeps getting more and more beautiful, and it's rude. Give somebody else a chance. You're both about me. Lady, you are stunning all day. Don't even start with me, right? Can we get one more time? Because really...
It's kind of overwhelming having these women here with us. All right, Lesley, tell us your first experience with Richard Sherman and his brother Bob.
Okay, so I was 18 and a half when I was asked to come out and to do a big screen test for The Happiest Millionaire. And I had to learn 2 songs, I had to learn some choreography and a couple of scenes. And even though I had come directly from Broadway, where I'd been singing, dancing, and acting for 4 months, I was terrified, totally terrified. But Richard and Robert made me feel so incredibly comfortable. Their warmth, specifically Richard, was so engaging and warm and welcoming, and I got the job. Then as an adult, Richard and I were both are both in, it's hard to talk about that, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And they had screenings there every week, and I would go to the screenings, and Richard would go as well. And it was always such a joy to see him. What was interesting to me was every time I saw him, I would feel back into that 18-year-old girl that I had been around him the very first time. He was so lovely and so fun and so warm, and yeah, I adored that man.
You also got to star in another musical, Disney musical, made right after Walt's passing.
Yes.
The one and only genuine original family band.
Yes.
And musicals were becoming something of a rarity, so it was special.
Yes.
You know, and what are your memories of that experience?
It was a fantastic experience, and Kurt Russell played my younger brother, and Goldie Hawn played my competitive dance person in the movie, which was kind of interesting. But one of my favorite memories was a song called The Happiest Girl Alive, which I got to sing in this exquisite field with all these horses running by me, and the character, she had just fallen in love with John Davidson, and he had written her a letter, and she was holding this letter to her heart after reading it, and it meant so much to her. And what I specifically remember about their music was, as an actor, they fulfilled your understanding, your need to understand what the character is feeling. Yeah? So that you felt supported, not just by the beautiful melody and song, lyrics, but you understood what the character was feeling, what she wanted, what was on her mind. And that was one of the greatest gifts of doing that music for me.
And every song is in context.
Yes.
It was threaded into the movie.
Yes, it's not just sort of plopped into moves the story along.
Haley, you made 4 films for Walt Disney, and I will tell you, she has a memoir out now, and it's fantastic. She's only paying me a little bit of money to tell you that. But it's a beautiful memoir because it honors your life and Walt and everyone that you worked with and your incredible parents. I'm sorry, I had to. What do you remember about working with Richard on those films?
Well,
I first met Richard when I came over here from London to make The Parent Trap. And I went up to Walt's office. He said, I want you to meet two very important people. And I went into Walt's office, and there in the office, standing by a baby grand piano, were these two extremely attractive young men. I was delighted. I was 14. They were absolutely charming and made me feel very, very welcome. And Robert was the quieter of the two and lovely, and Richard was more ebullient. And he came up to me and he said, hey, Haley, hi. I said, hi. And he said, we're going to play for you the song that you're going to sing in the movie. I said, good, great. And he said, now we're going to sing it for you, but of course you will sing it much better than us. Which was patently untrue. So he sat down at the piano and started banging out, if that's not a rude way of putting it, the tune of Let's Get Together. And they sang it, both of them, with all their heart and soul, extremely well. And at the end of it, they made me laugh. And that was the first time I'd heard that song. And Richard was warm and lovely and all-encompassing, as everybody has said. He made you feel that he was a human being who was doing exactly what he wanted to do. He knew that he was really good at what he was doing, and it was his special purpose, and he was a happy man, and it was very infectious. They both were. They were both lovely. Now, the second memory of them was the day that I had to record the song. It was in the recording studio at Disney Studios, and I was very nervous. And I said to them, I said, I am very nervous because I'm not a singer. And Richard said, oh, he said, don't worry, you're an actor. So act being a singer. It was very good advice. So I did. And I've done it all my life.
Proving what a good actress you were, even at that age.
Yep. What?
You acted this song.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's like Lesley said, well, you do have to act songs, don't you? Mm-hmm. After all, you're expressing, the emotion of your character. You have to act it.
It's funny you should say that, Haley. Funny you should say that you have to act to sing, and that you two would be together having the same feeling at the moment. Let's Get Together was a big hit song upon the film's release, and you certainly made an impression singing with your twin. And since you're here, and we happen to have a band, don't know where they came from, would you guys be willing to do just maybe Haley a couple of bars of Let's Get Together?
You mean you're acting me to act like a singer again?
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Well, acting like her twin. Okay.
No, I've always avoided it. I've avoided it for years and years and years. And it's a long time since I've done any singing. Besides, to be perfectly honest, I could only possibly do it if I had my twin to sing with.
I have good news for you, my friend.
Lesley. Lesley, please. Go on. Oh, go on. I mean, you sing so much better than I do. I mean, you were in actual musicals, and I was just in movies with songs. Go on.
All right. This is for Richard.
Richard was a bit of a showman. In fact, his brother said that every time he opened the refrigerator and the light came on, he would do 20 minutes. Not that long ago, I received an email from a very special young man. It was Richard's son. And I wanted to share with you what he wrote to me. He said, "I'm delighted you're hosting Dad's D23 event. I loved how you did his 90th, and I thought we'd be doing it for his 100th. It won't be the same without his 1,000-watt smile, but it's a chance for the Disney faithful to say a proper goodbye to my all-time favorite human. Now, to honor that sentiment, please welcome Greg Sherman to share his dad's 1,000-watt smile with us all. Ladies and gentlemen, Gregory Sherman."
Wow. Dad would have loved it. What a spectacular tribute. All these beautiful testimonials and legendary performers. My father was a phenomenally talented songwriting genius. I think that's pretty obvious. But I must tell you, as his only son, I want you all to know, Richard Sherman, the man, was even more amazing. So I want to say a few thank yous. First of all, to the Walt Disney Company for making that beautiful short film, The Last Verse. And as you all saw my dad tell Bob Iger, Disney was family to him. So to all of you here who provided my father with your boundless joy whenever he appeared everywhere, Disneyland, Disney Cruises, or right here at D23, he felt your love and he poured your positivity into everything he did. So thank you, Disney faithful, for making my dad's life truly magical. Really. Now how about our extraordinary host, Stamos?
the man with the largest heart and even larger Disneyland sign in his backyard. I want you to know, he's not just a gifted actor, performer, and as you just saw, drumming virtuoso. Easy for you to say. But John is an equally phenomenal writer. I want you to know every word John has said about my dad today came directly from his soul. I want to thank you, John. It's an honor to call you a friend. Our musical director right there, piano man Richard Allen, has once again shown us he's the best in the business. The Richard Allen Trio. Now, I gotta say, my family's truly touched by all these wonderful friends and colleagues who have given us so much to remember him by. And especially to the performers, Michael, Darren, and the beautiful Ashley, thank you for sharing your spectacular voices and immense talent. But lastly, to those two gorgeous icons, Lesley and Haley, you know how much my dad loves you. So do I just want to briefly say, you know who never gets recognition? The incredible talents who work tirelessly behind the scenes to create these magical events. Now, this one was obviously not planned, had to be thrown together last minute, so let's please join me in applauding everyone at D23 for making this event happen. Now, the Sherman brothers were often asked, what comes first, the words or the music? And the answer was, the idea. So when my cousin Jeff and I produced and directed the film called The Boys, a documentary about our dad, we learned quite a lot about the ideas that ignited so many of their unforgettable songs. After the success of Mary Poppins, producer Cubby Broccoli, who owned the rights to all the Ian Fleming James Bond novels, wanted to make his own Mary Poppins, using Ian Fleming's only child book, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So Cubby asked Walt's permission to use everybody associated with Mary Poppins. Well, my dad and uncle were the only ever staff songwriters in the history of the company, but Walt graciously let them out of their contract so they could go make Chitty. Sadly, when they came back to the studio, Walt was gone. And Dad told me recently, Walt was our barometer. When we demonstrated a song for him, we were playing it for the millions because Walt held the world's pulse. Walt Disney was the Sherman brothers' greatest inspiration. They always tried to do a little better than they thought they could just to please the boss. But without him, now what? So one of the assignments they came back to do was bed knobs and broomsticks. And the idea behind the next song came directly from the way they were feeling without Walt there. How do you spark imagination when you lose your biggest inspiration? Something my family and I are experiencing every day. But the Sherman brothers, they found a solution. And to sing the Academy Award-nominated song, The Age of Not Believing, it is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce Richard Sherman's granddaughter, my beautiful niece, Mandy Rose Wolfe.
When you rush around in hopeless circles, searching everywhere for something true, you're at the age of not believing, when all the make-believe is through. When you've set aside your childhood heroes and your dreams are lost upon a shelf, you're at the age of not believing, and worst of all, you doubt yourself. You're a cat. of not believing, doubting everything you ever knew, until at last you start believing there's something wonderful, truly wonderful in you.
Now, before we continue, I have a really cool, super little secret to share with you. A few years ago, Richard spent an afternoon sitting at a Yamaha disc-claver piano inside the Walt Disney Archives. Now, it's a special piano that records and plays back a pianist's keystrokes. So, as you came in today, you may have noticed the piano was playing some Sherman Brothers songs. Guess what? That was Richard playing. Isn't that cool? Here's something else that's really cool. Exactly 60 years ago this month, Walt Disney's live-action masterpiece, Mary Poppins, premiered at Hollywood famed Grauman's Chinese Theater. The film was Disney's crowning achievement as a filmmaker and a triumph for Richard and Robert Sherman, whose first ever films garnered them 2 Academy Awards. Mary Poppins is arguably one of the most original, most beloved Hollywood musicals of all time. Now, I would like all our incredible talent to come out and help us sing the final song out here. So please welcome back our friends Kevin, Floyd, Bob, Andy, where are you? Ashley, where's Haley, Jared, Chris, there you go. The Melody 23 Singers. Richard, you're doing a great job. Now, when Richard was a little boy, his dad made kites from scratch, and the boys would fly them. So let's give our pal Richard a proper Sherman family salute with a rousing sing-along so loud, so swaying, and so boisterous that Richard and Robert can hear it high above the kites. We ready? All right. We have words? Who's going to start? Okay.
With tuppence for paper and strings, you can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird in flight. With your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it so
musical legacy of the Sherman Brothers.
I hope the legacy of my music is the fact that they start making singable songs again, where people like to just listen to them and hear them again. Because that's the one thing that my brother Bob and I tried to do with all the songs, the hundreds and hundreds of songs we wrote over the many, many years, is to give people a little joy, a little happiness, a little lilt. And I think that's what we wanted to do with every one of our songs. So if our songs, if the songs that I played today and the ones that I've played over the years that you've heard have given you that kind of a lilt and kind of an optimistic feeling about life, that life is good, I'd be very happy. That would be my legacy.
At the top of the show, we made a promise to keep the Sherman songbook legacy alive, didn't we? So on your way out, enjoy listening to Richard playing those wonderful songs. And remember to sing your favorite Sherman tune tonight to a loved one. Thank you all. God bless. Good night.